having some technical difficulties this morning, but I think I'm on. Okay, that's awesome. So, so this morning we're going to do some sort of maple molasses beans and a couple salads. So, so what I did was I took these beans. These are pinto beans. And I'm actually going to show you, because I get so many questions about beans, that it's super easy to soak them. So that you just take your dried beans and you just put them in, you know, some kind of container with water. And you just put the water over and you leave it. And then later on in the day, good morning. Later on in the day, you just strain it and rinse it and fill it up with water again, and then you do that a couple times during the day, and then the next day you fill it up with water again, and then you rinse it again before you cook them. And I happen to do them in the Instant Pot, and so they cook pretty quick. But if you were doing it in, you know, slow cook during the day in a pot, which takes a few hours for the beans to really break down, what I do is after they're finished cooking, I rinse them again. Okay, so that gets all the lectins out, and that gets all of the, you know, the lectins. We had a talk about that a couple weeks ago. And hi, Jane. Hi, darling. And so we talked about lectins a couple weeks ago, and lectins are basically that indigestible, it's not really an enzyme, but it's indigestible part of the lectin that it inhibits the, what it's there for is in the plants and things is to stop the animals from eating it. So it gives you that bloating and that indigestion. And so anyway, so by using the, you know, the dry beans and putting them in water and rinsing and then draining and rinsing and draining, it removes the lectins and then further through cooking. And so anyway, yeah, so you can look up that video. It's quite extensive on the lectins and what lectins are in, which is any of the legumes, the beans, even in the grains like quinoa and different things like that. So really important to soak and rinse. So anyway, we have my cooked beans here. Super awesome. These are pintos. You can buy them inexpensively at any store. I happen to have bought these at Healthy Habits and dried, and it's so economical to be able to buy your peas, beans, rice, lentils, all that kind of stuff. There's black beans. We did a recipe with black beans last week. So what we're going to do is we're going to add, these are just cooked. All I did was put a little bit of the garlic, granulated garlic, in when I cooked it. So they have no salt, no anything but water and garlic granules. And now they're rinsed. So it's like so easy that I added a couple more recipes because it's like way too easy to do this. So we're basically just going to add, you know, and again, I do things mostly to taste because that's how I do things. So maple syrup. And so we're just going to add some maple syrup, and I'm going to say 1/4 cup for now. I don't want them too sweet. And we're going to add molasses. So that's molasses and probably less. Molasses is always so fun to give you your morning exercises, trying to get it open and trying to get it to pour. So we're going to put in probably the same amount, about 1/4 cup of molasses, because I really do like molasses. And it's always, it's so good for you. Full of iron. Like molasses is really almost one of those things that you want to have a little, you know, a teaspoon daily. So good for you. I'm going to try and get the molasses out of the spoon here. And I am going to add, of course, I always like to add the cayenne. And a little shake of that, give it some spice. And in this case, I'm also going to add a little bit of cinnamon. Hi. Oh, hi everybody. Oh, that's awesome. So a little bit of cinnamon. And again, you know, to taste. I don't want it too cinnamony. I want it mostly molasses and maple syrup. And then to make it healthy, I'm going to add the turmeric as well. So everybody knows that turmeric is anti-inflammatory. It's got the curcumin in it, so it's really good if you have any kind of joint pain, back pain, any kind of pain or inflammation. Turmeric's amazing. If you add a lot of turmeric, like we add the turmeric to our chai tea every day, if you add too much, like half a teaspoon, it's got a bit of a bitter taste. So if you're adding it to your chai tea, you just want like a quarter of a teaspoon because it can make it just taste just a little bit bitter. And so, hi everybody. Everybody's home this morning. So, so that is, it's just way too easy. So this is basically pinto beans, and you can use kidney beans if you want. I happen to like the, I find the pinto beans are much more, they're milder tasting. I want to show you guys this, because it looks so pretty, and I don't know if you can see the molasses moving around with the maple syrup. And so, yeah, so you can see that it's actually quite thick with them. So we've just got molasses, maple syrup, some cayenne, a little bit of cinnamon, and turmeric. And then we always have to, well, we don't always have to do anything, but it's a good idea to add, when you're adding turmeric, to add the black pepper to activate the turmeric. So add some black pepper here. Oh, and the other thing it's going to need is a little bit of Himalayan salt. And the thing that I've learned with cooking beans and having them taste good is they actually do seem to take more salt than you would think. So when you're using, I would never ever use regular table salt, but when you're using a Himalayan salt like this, it's more of a mineral base, so you can use and need to use more than normal to make it taste salty. The other salt that I really love, but I seem to have a harder time finding it nowadays, is Celtic sea salt, and that's even more of an earthy, milder, salty taste that just, it's more of a mineral, and it really brings out the flavor. Hi, I'm just watching everybody to see if there are any questions or anything, and you can put questions on the Facebook page too. So yeah, so a little bit of the Himalayan sea salt, and then you can see it's just the beans, so it's a maple molasses beans. I'm just going to put it on low here while we make our salads. So I just want to see if you guys can see the cutting board a little bit. I might have things a little too high. Okay, so I'll hold things up to show you. So what we're going to start with is a simple cabbage coleslaw. So we have our cabbage here, and we're going to slice it up really fine. And I think there's probably, you know, most likely a way of doing it right, which I have no idea, because, hi everybody, because I've never taken a cooking class, so I just wing it. Most of my videos, if you look at my videos on YouTube, the way this got started was that I love taking pictures of healthy cooking and healthy meals, and encouraging people to eat in a healthy way, good food. And I'm always in a hurry. So there's like 125 food videos on my YouTube, and they're all 15-minute meals. Sometimes I'll put one on there that you can prepare and then go back into the garden or back to the computer, whatever it is that you're doing. But most of them are fast, easy, healthy 15-minute meals. And so people started asking me, like I was just posting them for encouraging people because, you know, it looked good and it's easy. And then people started asking me to do the videos on how I do that, you know, how I make that happen in 15 minutes, because lots of the things I make, like I have a recipe on unstuffed zucchini, and so I was going to stuff zucchini one day, and then I realized that was going to take way too long. I didn't have time for it, so I ended up taking the zucchini and making it taste like stuffed zucchini, but it wasn't, and it was really good. It tasted like stuffed zucchini. So, hi, hey Melanie, wow. So we're just chopping up the cabbage, and you know, a lot of people leave things longer, and I don't like them longer. I don't like, for spaghetti, I'm very sacrilegious. I break my spaghetti in half, sometimes in thirds, sorry. And I don't like the long stringy things in the sauerkraut, or we did a Thai noodle recipe the other day. And I have my bowl here, and so I broke up the Thai noodles too, because I don't like everything really long and stringy, and that's just me. Probably pretty sacrilegious. Okay, so we're going to cut a little bit more of the cabbage, and it's going to be a super easy coleslaw recipe. And I do all of my cooking, there's probably a better way of doing this, but this is how I'm doing it because I'm always in a hurry. Try and cut it as fine as you can. The thing with making sauerkraut too, we're not making sauerkraut, but when we do, and we have lots, the thinner it is, the faster it'll break down. And I think that that's the key with this too, is that whatever the sauce is, or whatever you want to call it, dressing, it'll absorb more the thinner it is. So me and my makeshift kitchen here. Okay, so we have the cabbage, and what I want to do too, I'm just going to set this down again, is add even more nutrition. We're going to add some kale, and so the kale is like this is kale from last summer, which is super awesome. It's still here and it's flowering, so it's gonna go. But I'm gonna keep several in pots so that I still have the old plants for the winter, because I find it the second year plants have even more fantastic flavor. So this is the kale, and it is, and what I do is I just, again, fast and easy. I'm not going to start chopping individual leaves. I just wind it up like this and start chopping it fine, because kale is one of the most nutrition dense foods on the planet. Like, it has all the antioxidants, it has vitamin C, it works with your whole immune system, lowers cholesterol, it just does everything. Kale is one of the healthiest plants that you can eat, period. And everybody pretty much knows that now. You know, everybody's really, hi. I can't read that. I'll get closer. I'll read it in a minute. Oh gosh. Okay. Me and my eyes. Okay. So, yeah. So anyways, so the kale is super good for you. And so the thing with kale too is it is, even though it's packed full of nutrition, you have to really break it down. So you can't just chew a couple bites and then swallow it and then expect to get all of the goodness out of it. You have to, that's awesome. So happy. I actually read something. So, and that's awesome. I'm glad to have all you guys here. Okay, back to the kale. The kale is the most nutritious thing you can eat in the planet. Full of antioxidants, full of vitamin C. It's got vitamin K. It's a nutrient-dense food, and it's hard to absorb straight up. So if you were just to chew this, which I put it in my salads all the time, When I do that, I cut it up really fine like rice, like as fine as rice when I put it in the salads, because, and I just keep rolling it and cutting it, rolling it and cutting it, because if you were to just chew it, you don't chew it enough to really break down the cell walls to get the nutrition out of it. So a lot of recipes call for massaging your kale, and you can do that. What most recipes talk about is putting the kale with a little bit of olive oil and salt, which would be a natural salt, like a Himalayan sea salt. And so you're massaging it so that the oil and the salt starts to break it down. Similar to how the salt starts breaking down the sauerkraut. So you want the kale to be really pre-broken down, and then hopefully you chew it. So that's a whole nother video on digestion and elimination. And, you know, ideally, we're supposed to chew our food 27 times before we swallow. And I don't know anybody that does that. You know, I can know about it all I want, but to actually do it is, okay, I'm not going to keep getting distracted. So, so we're going to take this kale, and look, there's a little baby kale in here, super cute. So we're going to put the kale in with the cabbage for added oomph and nutrition. Okay, so here we have just the kale and the cabbage, and a super easy dressing. You guys are going to love this, like super simple. We're taking veganese, and you can use mayonnaise if you want, whatever it is you have at home that is similar. We're going to put it in a little measuring cup here, and it's going to be basically for this is quite a bit. It's like, well, almost half a head of cabbage, and then it's the kale. So I'm going to say 2 heaping tablespoons. That's what those are. Oh my God. Okay, so we have 2 heaping tablespoons. We're going to go again. I know I use so much maple syrup, but it's really good for you as well. And so quite a bit of maple syrup, so probably quarter, well, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup, quarter of a cup. And what you could do, I'm not going to, but just an idea, what you could do is you could add some apple cider vinegar, which would be really good for aiding in digestion. I probably should, I just didn't think of it. But the apple cider vinegar provides the acids to help you to digest, and to, anybody that has any kind of digestive issues, it balances the acid alkaline. It's just awesome. So I probably will do that. I just didn't think of it, and I don't want to run around and grab it right now. But so far what we have here is just simply veganese, and like I said, you can use a mayonnaise or whatever it is that you want to do, and maple syrup, and I always love to add my cayenne. I think it just gives it a zip. And so what we're going to do is get my fork here. I do have some fancy tools, but I try and keep it simple, because, you know, sometimes people don't have fancy tools. So you're just going to go like this. Whoops. Wow. A little vigorous there. So you're just going to be mixing the veganese with the maple syrup, and it's like that's way too simple, and pour that on for your dressing. So that's it, like way too easy. And like I say, I will probably add some apple cider vinegar to that. Oh, and the other thing is, of course, you're going to add your pepper and salt. Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt, or whatever it is that you want to put in there. So if you want to get fancy, okay, I'm going to show you this first. You can see it's really kale, cabbage, veganaise, and maple syrup, and cayenne pepper, and a little bit of Himalayan sea salt and black pepper. And if you want to get fancy, see, I'm trying to not go shopping very much, and we're all, I think, trying not to go shopping very much. If I had red onions or purple onions, I would add that to it, but I don't have any. But that would be super nice, and also add the color. So I like to really add color to a lot of my photos in the way of food, like colorful foods. But during this time, I'm not just running to the store for one little thing. So it's missing the purple onions. Or you could put red peppers, which I'm also out of, but to add some color. So what we can do is, we make it really pretty with turmeric. So we can use our turmeric spoon here and add a little bit of turmeric. Like I said before, it's anti-inflammatory. It has the curcumin. It's really good for any kind of joints, soreness, back pain, muscle pain, everything. And because we already added the black pepper to activate the turmeric, we're going to see how pretty and orange this makes it, because turmeric dyes everything. If you spilt it on your counter, it will definitely stain everything orange. So there we have, and it's got, and then to taste, I do everything, I cook intuitively and to taste, which drives people crazy because I have a hard time measuring. I need someone to take notes on how much I put in things. But it's to taste. Some people don't like the cayenne. Some people don't like it that sweet with the maple syrup. Some people like it sweeter. Like, I can actually smell that. That just smells so good. Okay, so that's it. And we've added a little bit of orange to it. All right, so that's that. Next thing on our list here is we're going to do a cauliflower, and I'm not going to worry about cleaning this cutting board because I can see that I'm going over time. So it just has kale on it, which will just add to the flavors. Okay, I'm going to cut up this cauliflower real quick here for you guys to see, and we're going to make a buffalo cauliflower. So, hi everybody, buffalo cauliflower. So we're just going to cut the little cauliflowers into pieces, super easy. This is going to be for dinner tonight, so I'm not going to cook it right now in front of you. And what you want to do is really have it fairly raw-ish. You know, you want to have a crunch because obviously everybody knows the more you cook the food, the less nutrition there is in it. And so as we go more into summer and the heat, we'll be doing more raw. But I'm just not a fan of raw in the cold, wet, damp winter. And so again, we're going to use our veganaise or mayonnaise or whatever you have, and we're going to put it in the thing here. We're going to put it in the thing. So I'd say that for that much cauliflower, it's like half a head, and we're going to put looks like 4 heaping tablespoons to me. How about you? I think so. I think so. Okay, simple veganaise. We're going to add some hot sauce to make this a buffalo cauliflower, which would be like a buffalo wings flavor. And the cauliflower cooks up, like, cauliflower takes on so many amazing flavors. And I'd say that much. Can you see that? That much of the hot sauce. And it depends. If you want to. Now, the beauty of this is just like chicken wings. For your chicken list, I'm going to add 1 more drop. Depends on what you have. I find that Frank's Louisiana hot sauce, which I'm also out of right now, it has a nicer flavor, I think, than the Louisiana, but they're all good. So that much hot sauce, and so basically what you're going to do, there's so many things to do, but what you're going to do is just put this together the veganaise and the hot sauce, Louisiana hot sauce in this case. Add some salt and pepper, and then you can change this up just like chicken wings. You can add maple syrup. You can have like a honey garlic on your cauliflower. So you can do the same thing as you can with chicken wings. It's just awesome. I'm adding granulated garlic. It's just pure granulated garlic. And, oh yeah, I did pepper, salt. So many recipes going on here. And you could add the turmeric too to make it like a really golden. But you're just going to add the veganaise, and I'm not going to add any cayenne right now because I already have the hot stuff in there. And I am just going to go ahead and add some more turmeric. So we're having turmeric in 3 of the meals today, and why not, right? So, I mean, the more anti-inflammatory you can get, and I'm not adding a lot, you know, we'll be, of all the beans that we just made here in the coleslaw, you know, we'll be having a cup of each, so it'll be just like the perfect amount of turmeric. And I put the pepper in. So this is super easy, you guys. You put your cauliflower into the bowl and stir it around, and then all you're going to do, you can do it 2 different ways. I've tried it both ways, and it all depends on what you like, but you can put it in a casserole dish and lightly, with a little bit of water in the bottom at 350 and a light little piece of foil over top, just so that it kind of doesn't stay too soft but gets a little bit crispy on the outside. Or you can put it on a cookie sheet and just watch it. I'm not personally, like I said, I'm not really the best cook, and I have a hard time watching things that are in the oven because they tend to get burnt. So I'm more to put the little bit of oil, or sorry, not oil. None of these recipes have any oil in them. These beans do not have oil. The coleslaw doesn't, and neither does the buffalo cauliflower. But you can see this, and so if you watch it, you can put it on a cookie sheet in the oven, and it'll crisp up and just be really beautiful, like buffalo chicken wings. So these are the chickenless buffalo cauliflower. Can you see that? And then it's getting coated on there really well. And then for tonight, I'm just going to put that on a baking sheet. You can see how nice it looks. Everything looks prettier with pepper on it. So I'll show you guys. That's it. Super easy. I've got 2 cameras going here. Okay, so I'm just going to recap everything. I'm not sure what time it is, but I think we're like into our time. So what we did today, we did lots. We did beans, which is, we started with a little review on how to soak dry beans, soaking them in water and rinsing to remove the lectins. And so you soak your beans and rinse water, and soak your beans, rinse water a few times the first day, and then again the next day, and then after you cook them, rinse them again to get the lectins out. If you want to know more about lectins, you can go to my lectin video. And so we took the cooked beans and we put the I don't know if you can see it. I didn't have it on high enough heat because I was afraid I'd burn it while I'm doing everything else. Okay, so basically this is just simply molasses, maple syrup, and cayenne in here with a little bit of salt and pepper. If you wanted to change this up, you can add a little bit of that liquid smoke. You know, it's really cool. It's not the healthiest thing for sure. But a couple drops is not too horrible if you were after that barbecued flavor. The other thing you can do is add barbecue sauce to these. So what I do is I make a big batch like this, and then we eat it like this. Maple molasses beans the first day, and then the next day I change it up and put like barbecue sauce in it for barbecue beans. So, you know, when I make the big batches, I can change it. And so the next thing we made is the beautiful cabbage coleslaw. And it just has veganaise with the, again, maple syrup and a little bit of cayenne. And so, you know, that's a lot for 2 people. And so we'll eat that. And then what I might do the next day is add some raw nut mix to it, just to give it a little bit of crunch, and maybe some pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, that kind of thing, so you can change it up after on the second day. And then, yeah, and then actually, you know what, I had a plan here, I almost forgot. I had a plan to be able to show you better. There we go. Now you can see it better. So, and you have to have the pepper because it makes it look pretty. Okay, so buffalo cauliflower, easy peasy. Cut up some cauliflower, mix up some Vegenaise or mayonnaise or whatever you have with a little bit of Louisiana hot sauce or Frank's hot sauce. And then again, if I had wanted to change this, I could add a what are the flavors of the wings? There's honey garlic, salt and pepper. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. So that's it. There's 3 little meals for you. Super easy, super healthy. Yeah, and I encourage everybody to grow some kale and use it, and to grow a garden. Whatever it is that you can grow, it would be super awesome to have you doing that. And I was all prepared to talk about plantain and the healing properties of plantain, but we're out of time, so I'll put these in the fridge and we'll talk about them tomorrow. Okay. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching. Oh, if you want to put in requests for what you want me to share with you, put it on the Facebook page, and then I just kind of go by whatever people are asking me to share, the way I do it. So yeah, and you can check out my YouTube as well. It has like 125 videos. Kind of funny. Anyway, have a great day. Get out in the sunshine. See you later.